Welcome to Kikamori. Welcome to my podcast. A show recorded from a room that hasn't changed since, well, America had a different president, maybe two. 7 years inside, that's not a lifestyle, right? That's a subscription plan. You forgot to cancel. Some people call it isolation. We call it free shipping on every emotion.
I don't go outside. This is my battlefield. Fighting alone every single day. No one sees it, but I keep going. Slow is fine. Stopping is fine. Just move forward. Hikikomori hero, still standing. This is just a podcast.
I've been having a hard time lately, and my depression been bad. I think most people with depression feel the same. Anyway, something happened again. It's about tofu again. I was talking up with my parent, and somehow we ended up talking about tofu like always. I told her I was putting 150 grams of tofu in my small mixer tomorrow. Then my parents said, "Oh, you are putting soybeans in it." She said, "You are putting soybeans in the mixer." I said, "Tofu." But she kept saying, soybeans the second time. She even said green soybeans. It's hard to explain, but it made no sense to me. She always puts some beans in the mixer before, so I guess she assumed it's gain. I said tofu, and I'm sure they heard it, but she couldn't understand it, so she ignored what I said and went back to soybeans. When someone says something different from usual, you'd think you'd notice, but she didn't. She just kept going with soybeans. I said it 3 times. Later, after she came home, I talked to her again. I told her she ignored what I said because she couldn't understand it. Then she said, "No, I knew it was tofu. You are putting tofu in the mixer." I said, "No, you said soybeans at first." Then she said, "At first I thought it was soybeans, but later I knew it was tofu." After that, the story got messy and I don't remember everything. But it made no sense. At first, she clearly said soybeans. I said she ignored my words because she couldn't understand them. She didn't get what I meant. I explained it many times. Then she suddenly said she knew it was tofu. I said that made no sense. This kind of thing happened before too. When I asked why, she said something strange at first. She said she understood the whole time. Why, when I say she didn't, she says she understood at the end. It's a mess. Anyway, next topic. I've been thinking about cover art. I wanna look natural, not fake. And I don't wanna lie. My parent was supposed to help me change the cover art setting, but she couldn't find the right place. She got stuck on her own idea and couldn't try other ways. When people can't find something, she usually try everything. But she couldn't. She was stuck. I've made the same mistake before too. I finally changed the cover art today. I should have done it earlier. But when I finally started doing it, something had happened again. It reminded me of when I wrote that complaint letter about the religion reader, and my parents got angry at the same timing. My parents feels like bad luck. Things never go well when they're involved. It's strange how things go wrong at the exact worst moment. If it's just luck, the chance is too low. Maybe there's a reason. I remembered a story about a celebrity who saw a ghost in the same place as their parent. I couldn't accept it because it didn't make sense scientifically. But when I looked it up, there are reasons why two people might think they saw the same thing. Yesterday, I heard my father touch a cup right after coming home. I asked my mother if he washed his hand before touching things. She said yes, but I'm not sure. Maybe he saw my phone right at night and got annoyed and touched the cup on purpose. Maybe that's too much guessing, but with my parent, it's possible. Last night was cold. I didn't wanna use the heater too much. Maybe it's because I changed the cover. My health is already bad, so it was tough. I couldn't find the reason no matter how much I thought. I also read the writer said young people shouldn't fear failure. But I always thought that idea was strange. What count as doing something? What count as not doing something? It's also someone's personal idea. People say try things when you are young, but trying something can also ruin your life. It's a gamble. They only think about success. The honest way to say it is it. If you try something, you might fail and things might get bad, but you might also succeed. It's a gamble. I knew this since middle school. Those words never meant anything to me. Next topic, my depression being bad. In high school from first year to third year, it was terrible. My father didn't even know I had depression. She said it was desire. I was shocked. Maybe it's a common with religion thinking. Yesterday I looked at the philosophy board online, but nothing good was there. I wasted time. I stopped listening to the podcast for a while, but I forgot why I listened again yesterday. But it was boring. I already knew everything. It made me feel worse because I am sensitive to change. Before I started my podcast, and even now, I'm scared of change. A doctor once said one was more scared of his wife than cancer. For me, change is scarier than anything. When something changed my life, shift and fear comes. This morning I talked with my parents about the Prime Minister. We said She looks strong, and other readers would be bow to her. I also looked up a tool today. When I find something good, I wanna look for more. It's human nature. In the afternoon, I found a good tool for my podcast, but then I started thinking maybe another one is better. But then I realized the old one was fine. But timing again. The word is convenient but not always good. I also checked my Spanish episode. I only made for so I thought I could switch to Portuguese, but I thought that people is child and Argentina listen to those 4 episodes. The timing was bad again. I couldn't give up. I don't know the listener numbers because the stats aren't clear. Spanish might be better with English, but Brazil has many people who like Japan. I keep going back and forth. I also realize something. When I do something with a goal and it's fair, I feel like it was pointless. But when I do something naturally, without a goal, I don't feel but even if it's fail. So maybe goal and good for me. I also not noticed I can't remember the last time I laughed. People who stay inside probably feel the same. It's sad not being able to talk to people. Next topic. My parent goes to a small religion meeting at a neighbor's house. I asked them how many people go, but she said she couldn't ask. She couldn't ask. That felt strange, so I said. Then I think it's a strange meeting. My parents looked tired already. I feel bad for them. My feet hurt too, and I can't work out. But my stomach doesn't get bad as much now. And my nails don't grow like before. When I see others struggle, I sometimes feel jealous. It's strange. I also noticed that my phone search show up on my computer YouTube even though the accounts are different. It feels strange. Many odd things happen around me. It reminds me of spiritual sp- spirit way. I thought about changing my cover art every time. Some foreign podcasts do that, but I'm not good at art, and I'm scared that using my brain for art will take away space from language. I've always been scared of running too much because I thought other things would fall out of my head. I used to think people who run down things like dangerous must have a big brain. I thought maybe I should I shouldn't use time on art because I need time for philosophy, board, and other things. I tend to go to extreme. In the afternoon, I had a daydream. I saw a show where senior idols told a junior idol they didn't sweet enough. I imagine myself saying, sweet isn't the important part. My mind goes everywhere, even during meals. Ideas for my podcast come up, but I forget them later. It's like dream. I also imagined talking to a girl from my class if I had a girlfriend back then. My mind still goes back to school days. Time feels stuck. My head spins a lot. I think about things I didn't read on the board. When I lie down, I try hard to stop the doubt. In high school, a senior invited me to go fishing. I like her, I like him, but I hated doing things with people. I didn't wanna lose my free time. I knew he'd think I didn't like him. It was painful. I couldn't explain it. Later, I learned this is common in people with developmental issues. When I became shut in, I only listened to classical music to keep my mind clean. Later, I watched documentaries about host and hostess. hostess. Recently, I listened to crime podcast, but they can be dark and leave bad feelings, so I might stop. I also realize I haven't talked about many things I think about. I daydream about the idols saying things in a better way. I also looked up why white hair end up behind a fridge. And it's because of airflow and static. It's sensitive to sound and voices. I saw ranking of voices people like. But my taste was totally different. It made me feel alone again. I'm very competitive, but when things get hard, my depression hit. Other people can balance things and stay social, and I couldn't. I was a lone wolf. I also realized my handwriting was always bad. Teachers always said it. I thought everyone else had nice handwriting, but maybe mine was just bad. That's also common in developmental issues. Even though I feel depressed, I don't wanna end my life. After I quit that, I assisted dying group. That feeling went away. When I felt real danger, something changed in school. I like drawing fire and didn't try to fit in, but I still feared being completely different. Later, I stopped caring and focused on being better than others, but then I lost all friends. Sometimes I missed my younger self. People are strange. I feared being totally different from others. I also wanted to talk about the story Sayoga Uma. When my microwave broke, I used a grill set and maybe it saved gas. Life is like a game. People judge things as good or bad only after they happen. Like the horse story, good things happen, then bad things happen, and the meeting keeps changing, so life feels like a game you take seriously. I also woke up thinking about Spanish vs Portuguese again. In 5 years, Spanish will have more listeners and audio-only contents work better in Spanish. I thought that settled is, but I already have listeners in Brazil, so I'm still unsure. Thank you for listening. Please hold this one. Say again.